Hi, Nate Martinez, Shannon Wellman. We're here to share a few more what-if knowledge points. So Shannon, what if during the home inspection, maybe that whole process is a little tight between the buyer and the seller? You know, what's that look like if a buyer refuses to share the home inspection report or the termite report or any other reports or inspections that the buyer did?
So, that can come up sometimes during those inspection periods. Sellers, get a little, it's their home, and so sometimes they take it personally when things are found that might not be correct, that sort of thing, or they get nervous that the buyer's going to ask for a lot of things that are going to cost them money. So, it can get a little heated sometimes, and so if that happens, though, the contract does say that the buyer will provide, upon receipt, copies of all inspections they received during that inspection period. So the seller does have a right to those. If the buyer's refusing to provide them, the seller could cure and send a cure notice to the buyer to provide those. Within that 3 days, the buyer would have to do that, or it would potentially become a breach of the contract.
So let's look at what really happens in a contract. So what I find, Shannon, is inspection is done on a Tuesday, maybe it's day 5.
Mm-hmm.
So the inspection is there. So the contract is basically saying at that time they should forward over the home inspection even before the bins are. Right? This doesn't happen in real life, right?
No.
So it usually comes maybe with the binzer, or maybe you just get a binzer. So at that particular time, then you're saying that the 3-day cure notice should come into effect.
If the seller is wanting that and requesting it, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
The contract says it's upon receipt of that inspection report. It doesn't mean that the buyer's going to ask for those items, but the seller does have a right to see what the findings were.
So maybe an easier way, so you don't have to get too detailed, is maybe in an email to the cross-sell agent, you just basically, what are the lines in the contract?
Lines 222 to 224.
That maybe you can just copy and paste those into an email, say, hey, per the contract that your buyer signed with the seller, they're required to provide those documents. And we want to just be proactive and see that home inspection or see that report, termite report or whatever, so maybe the seller can start working on those items. And maybe that's more friendly. If you get pushback, that's when we have to do a cure.
Right.
Okay, excellent.